All right. Welcome to Culz Paranormal Studios. I, of course, am David, and joined here by Mr. Keegan himself. And
Howdy, everybody.
we are diving into one of our favorite subjects today. But not only that, we are bringing some friends along with us. This is a subject Keegan and I like to discuss a lot, but we want to kind of get the kind of an outsider view. People who
Mhm.
aren't as involved, I would say, right? Not nearly as versed.
Yeah, and you and I go back and forth with a lot of these different things we're going to be talking about. So I'm just really interested to get their opinion and kind of see their just like initial reactions to some of the things we talk about. I think it'll
I
be a
agree.
lot of
I
fun
agree.
because
And
I think it's hard when you're in our world, because we're always kind of diving into it. So maybe we have a different viewpoint.
right, of people who couldn't care less or don't know anything about it, it'd be interesting to get some panelists here. So who do we have on tap today?
Well, legend has it we do have the wizard Sky Rizzy. Let's see if he's here.
What? Who is this guy, Rizzy? That wow.
Whoa.
Do we even need anybody else at this point?
No, not really.
Who can
Just
who can
let's
top
just-
this?
let's go ahead and keep the circle small. Okay,
I'm all for it.
like a period.
Could you imagine if we did that and just never brought anybody else in?
Just backstage
That would be crazy and unfortunate for everybody else.
Next
But
up,
who's the
we've
GM?
got somebody else. You've seen him on mostly sports chat, some vlogs,
Okay.
and maybe a couple of this type of videos.
Oh
That
yeah.
is Brendan himself. Brendan, how's it
Oh.
going?
How are you?
Now, I did hear, and we can dive into this in a little bit, but I've heard that Brendan specifically is somewhat an expert in a very specific one of these things we're going to be talking about.
That's
100%.
crazy. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to talk about that.
Very pissed today.
Yeah. We should call them the Bronze Knights because they're not that good. Anyways,
See,
yes.
no one still doesn't know what we're talking about, so this is good.
I've figured it out.
I'm sure you have, Brendan. And who's our last panelist today?
Well, it's hard to experience life if you don't really know how to experience it, and that's why we.
Or if you don't have one.
if you don't have one too, that will affect that outcome. But we have the experiencer of all experiences, Mr. Nick Burgles himself.
Oh, there, the tea drinker. How you doing?
That I don't like that. That feels derogatory as shit.
Wow.
The
I feel like
The
you're one of
tea
those-
drinker.
I
The
feel like
tea
you're one of those
drinker
guys
over
that
here.
turns anything into a derogatory term.
Also,
the
that would have
tea
been that would
drinker
have
and
been so
spiller.
funny. That would have been so funny if you left me and Brendan off. I would have gone to YouTube and just be like, I was there in the back room.
Like I just think it'd be really funny, and we keep like talking as if we're about to bring you in, so you don't want to like sign off. But we just,
And it just never
Yeah,
does.
no,
It's crazy.
who else are we bringing in? We have somebody who knows how to experience life, but speaking
Or
of
we're just
experiencing life and then just keep going into what you're
so
talking
real
about.
quick, Nolan, we're about to bring in this next person, but before we do that, let's. I hope they're ready because we are going to be turning them in just a minute. But before we bring in our next panelist,
I love it. It's just the will they, won't they the whole time. That's great.
we just see how long. That's the actual game we're playing, is to see how long they will last backstage.
That would be hilarious, dude.
I would have actually gone to YouTube and commented like I was part of this video. I just didn't get brought on.
Like, I've been in the back room the whole time.
Well, we're not live, so
Yeah, we're not live, so it'd be even funnier to see you do that.
Not be recorded. That's crazy.
David, I think
I go to YouTube and Keegan has literally just edited me out.
He just
all
puts
my
a picture of
all
Bob
my
Simon.
audio, all my
black
audio,
box.
my visual, everything, but you guys are still responding to what I say. Like, oh yeah.
We actually just invite Grayson to come and he re-records your part. Everything that you said.
he says all the same thing, but it's just Grayson.
Yeah, and we're like, she's like, what? I could have
This would
sworn
be
I
a
was
wild
there.
and crazy elaborate skit.
It'd be really good.
Not even gonna
Especially
lie.
because the only person that would find it funny would be the person we're doing it to.
All right. But all right, guys, let's get started.
All right, so David, I think we give them a hint. I'm going to throw up this picture, and we'll see if they can guess our topic, okay?
All right, let's do it. Did you censor it properly?
Yeah, it is censored, so we'll see.
Okay.
Hopefully, we don't get flagged for it.
This looks like the Indominus Rex.
No, no, no.
It certainly does not, actually.
But it does, though.
No, it looks like webcam footage of like a leopard out in the woods.
It kind of looks to me like a guy in a suit just kind of crawling.
No, this looks like an eel underwater, just biting a stick.
Why does it have legs then?
I don't know,
Okay.
but I'm not seeing these legs. I don't know. Maybe I'm too
Okay,
close to the
well-
problem here. Hold on.
I know Brendan
look
already
up.
knows what we are discussing, but Keegan, would you like to reveal our subject to everybody?
Is
Yeah,
it
so-
Skinwalker Ranch?
No, not Skinwalker
Ooh,
Ranch. But what you were looking at is a real cryptid photo. This is of the Zanzibar leopard, taken in
Hmm.
Zanzibar, because the Zanzibar leopard was supposed to go extinct. And so, yeah, that's your hint. We will be talking about some fun cryptids. I think the game is we will kind of talk about them and see if you guys can guess where they are and maybe what they look like. Are you guys up
Yeah,
for the
we're
challenge?
gonna start out. We're gonna give you a name of what the cryptid in question is, and then it's up to you guys to decide what you think that is, and maybe tell us where it's from. And then after that, we'll talk about the actual thing. And you know what? I was gonna say we were just gonna rate them 1 to 10 in terms of like cryptid.
So I think we rate them 1 to 10 on how real we think they are.
All
Like
right.
how likely.
Yes. How
Lay it
likely,
on me.
if you walked into this location, do you think you would run into this cryptid?
Or
So
if you
David,
went, if you went looking for it.
yeah, David,
Yes.
why don't you maybe kick us off with one that maybe you did have an encounter with?
Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. So if you have watched this episode of Abnormal Voyages, you'll know a little bit about it. But the first creature we're going to talk about is called the Hodag.
Hodag.
Yes. So just going off that name, what do you think is possibly its story? What is it about? And where would you find this elusive creature?
The Hodag.
We'll start with you, Nick.
I would
if
guess that I'd find that Hodag in somewhere in South America, and I'm guessing it's a type of rat.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Some logical guesses. Brendan?
I feel like I should know this, but I have no clue right now.
That's okay. Just make something up.
deal with
What?
these.
Just the name.
If you're to
just
throw a
come in
dart,
and be like, "Oh shit, there's a Hodag in the yard. Where are you?"
Toad in New Orleans.
Okay, New Orleans. And what do you think it looks like roughly, if you had to guess?
Isn't that the like giant? I almost want to say toad.
A giant toad. Okay. So we got a rat, we got a toad. Let's go to you, Nolan. What do you think?
I don't know. That's a good one.
Just off the top of your head.
I know. I'm trying. I think I'm thinking too much now. You know what I mean? If I'm off the top of my head, I want to say it sounds like a. If I'm being honest, like it would be a Scottish dragon. Like
Okay. I like that.
You know what I
No.
mean? Like that just sounds.
Like, oh, the Hodag.
Yeah, right. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for me, that's what I hear. Like that's what comes to my
Absolutely.
brain. Like first, that dumb hold up. You know what I mean? Like
Now,
it's like
of course, I know the answer, but if I had to guess, I would think Hodag sounds to me a lot like Ho Down, like the dance or like party, you know? So I would probably put it like a southern animal and maybe something like dusty, like desert type thing since it's in the south. Not like a jackalope necessarily, but something kind of
okay, yeah, I give you that.
maybe a little
Well, yeah,
mammalian or feathery, you know?
The
Let's go
Hodags
with
are
that.
out. Look at them. Yeah, like I can
Yeah,
see
just
that.
like, oh shit, we gotta go round up them Hodags.
There's a bunch of Hodags
Right.
out here. Yeah. Yeah,
That
I
also
can see
sounds
that
like
one too.
that also sounds like a derogatory term. If you're like, man, we ain't going in this club. There's a bunch of Hodags in there.
Really, you can almost kind of make anything derogatory.
I know, just like
Yeah.
Depending
I'm
on
not,
Tea
I'm not watching
drinker.
that show. Nick Burgles is on it.
right. Yeah, Berg, you Kit Kat.
What?
All
You
right.
watch your
well,
you watch your mouth, Nolan. You watch your
So
mouth.
See what I
so
mean?
I can reveal to you guys.
Wait. I would
We haven't heard
say,
what Keegan. We
Oh,
haven't
you
heard
want to
what
guess,
Keegan
Keegan?
thinks.
Okay.
yeah,
Well, Keegan knows, but what
I,
would you?
I know what it is, but if I just heard the name and maybe if I just saw it briefly, I would think maybe Scandinavia.
Okay. I could see that definitely. And what do you think it would look like?
Something mythical, maybe along the lines of a dragon again, just based off of the name.
So I think it's interesting that just off the name, so far you, Nolan, and Brendan have all kind of gone like reptilian.
Mhm.
You know,
It
Nick
just
Nick
feels
is.
reptilian. You know?
I agree. I agree. It does. And in that aspect, you guys would be right. It is a little reptilian basis. But this is a very interesting one. This has the honor of being a very, very North American centered cryptid. And it
Like-
actually hails from Michigan. Or sorry, not Michigan. Wisconsin. I always get those two mixed up.
So it's a block of cheese. That's what it is.
Exactly. It's a block of cheese that has been, combined with a lizard.
Oh yeah.
No,
You got to
no.
work out. Well, you got to watch out for that.
That sounds like something that would come out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Um,
sounds like something that would come out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Now, so it is very much a cold weather-ish kind of thing, but also in the spring, like it's fine. It lives up in the woods. The funny thing about this actually comes around from the days of the lumberjacks when they were up there in this hugely forest, because it's very, very far up north where it was first found, like almost around, almost going up towards that Canada kind of area. Now, it was back in these lumberjack days. Supposedly, it was discovered in 1893 is the official date that we have on it. And some people believe that it is actually the oxen that lumberjacks would use, the ones that were abused and killed. They would burn the bodies, get rid of them or whatnot. And the ashes of all these kind of like abused animals would form together to create this creature who kind of looked like a giant rhino dinosaur lizard thing.
Interesting.
Like
Yep.
uh,
You gotta watch
the
out
supposed
for that,
so the
whole
supposed
tiger.
real ones, that we have found, they say, think about the size of like an alligator, like a larger alligator.
I was gonna say
not-
that's very variant. Like it's very variable, sir.
Yeah, something along the lines of like, I'd say about 6 feet long, 6 to 7 feet kind of thing. Some of the bigger ones, but we actually do have picture here of the statue that they actually have in Rhinelander, where it's from. Keegan, if you want to pull it up, this is what it looks like.
No,
Huh.
Yes,
that looks like it's out of the book Where the Wild Things Are.
Yes, with the
Yeah.
horns and everything, and that's supposed to be. You'll see some of those like oxen features still on it, which is it's kind of like a demonic oxen lizard.
Honestly, it does. It looks like if an ox and an alligator had a baby.
Yes.
It's
Now, an interesting thing, of course, because all cryptids have a lot of different stories behind them and everything. This one in particular, like I said, with the lumberjack stories, these are things that lumberjacks were telling each other, into the day, or they'd be eating, things like that. They'd be sharing stories, and this is one of the ones that came from that. But it was first really investigated and brought into popularity by a man named Eugene Shepard. This is what happened in 1893. Is he supposedly saw one in the woods, and he rounded up a bunch of the lumberjacks and stuff, and they all went to go catch it. And they claimed they caught it, but then it accidentally got killed. Something happened, it was gone, but they still got together and they did a famous picture. I don't know if Keegan has this one, probably not. You guys can look it up though. A very cheesy picture where they did a recreation of their hunt for this hodag, and it's so comical. It's really funny. It's a bunch of old black and white dudes with like weapons all around what is like clearly a like paper mache-ish looking animal statue in the middle of the woods.
I mean, you got to sell it sometimes,
It's super funny. But Eugene Shepard himself, later on, he claimed that he did eventually catch a live one and kept it on his property. Yeah, see, look at this picture. This is back in the 1800s.
I love how like the dude's like laying down there too, like on the bottom.
It's going to attack him, obviously.
Yeah, but right there, if I'm being honest, it looks more It looks more of like a bulldog with
Yeah.
like spikes on it than like a
or
lizard
really big ears that are just yeah. So
Yeah.
this is, you can get this on postcards and stuff still today because it's really funny. Now they don't claim that is the hodag. This is the recreation. So this is not what they're saying is real. Now Eugene Shepard himself, he was actually a lot like P.T. Barnum. He actually claimed that he had one, and people would come to see it at his house, and he'd be like, "Yeah, let me go get it." He would walk away, and the supposed area where he had the monster like caged up and covered so it wouldn't get angry, it would suddenly start like growling and hissing, and the cage would move around and all this stuff, and he would come back out, and he would have like his clothes ripped up and things. And he's like, "I'm sorry, it's too angry today. I can't let anybody see this. It's dangerous, right?"
It's too angry today is crazy.
Yes.
Like,
And eventually he would
sell
start taking this on tours through like county fairs and charge people to come see it. And it was basically just a cage that would like jump around and move. And yeah, and people were paying to see this creature. This kept going all the way until the Smithsonian sent a representative up to Rhinelander to see it and classify it as like an official new creature. And he tried to pull the whole thing like, oh no, and the Smithsonian person was like, no, it's fine, I still want to see it. Like they would not be moved from getting to see this creature. And that is apparently where the hoax kind of fell apart. But the real of why they still think it may be there, there's actually, because of course up there you've got a lot of lakes and things like that in Wisconsin. They've actually found very old cave portraits and things like carvings and paintings that the native tribes and stuff left up there that have a creature that looks almost exactly like the hodag represented in their cave etchings.
Which is crazy because like I'm thinking about it now, and I don't think alligators go that high. So
it definitely is not an alligator. Yeah, no, you can tell.
No, I'm saying like
it looks a lot like this.
Right, but I'm saying like it's
something that could be mistaken for it.
People have mistaken a lot of things. You know what I mean? All over the place. So like that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Just that cold weather alone.
An alligator doesn't survive, let alone go that far or whatever north. So yeah,
right. Like we were talking like Louisiana or something. Absolutely.
1,000%.
But way up there, yeah, there's no way. So it's very interesting that even though a lot of the history is absolutely a hoax, it almost sounds like if it was a real thing that they glimpsed, he then was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to take this idea and run with it as long as I can." And he became very wealthy off of just this.
Cool.
Now, to finish up his story, apparently, besides the Smithsonian thing, he claims he eventually decided that, it wasn't right to keep this creature caged up. And somehow along the line, it had babies. I don't know how, but it had babies. He's like, no, they have to have a free life. So he loaded them up on a boat and took them across a lake to like a special like island area that was connected to other land that was uninhabited and let them go. So all the little babies and the original, I guess, Mama Hodag all went out to keep populating and continue the mystery of the Hodag. But if you ever want to learn more about it or perhaps see it for yourself, you can go visit Rhinelander, Wisconsin to this day. And he is very much, as you can see here, a symbol of the town. This is in front of like their city hall area and things. They have the big statue here. They have the official Hodag store, which is full of nothing but Hodag merchandise. And they have Hodag Brewery, where they have special beers brewed for the Hodag, have him on the can and everything. Gotta say, some of the best root beer I've ever had, Hodag root beer. But it is a very, very interesting tale. And they spread the word of him. They have an actual Hodag bus, which is a bus that has been painted and made to look like a Hodag. And they take it around the country to different conventions and things that are like cryptid themed. They bring the Hodag van and tell everybody about him. And then every summer, you can go up there and they have an actual Hodag festival that apparently is a blast. So, 1 out of 10. What do you guys think about the Hodag? What is the believability here? We'll go the opposite direction. We'll start with Nolan this time.
Out of what kind of rating are we? Out of 10, you said?
Yep, 1 to 10.
Yeah, 10 is you're going to run into this thing. 1 is no chance.
10 is, oh, I saw him last week. Here's a picture of us together.
Okay. Well then, yeah.
1 is, I heard Nick is dating a really hot girl.
Super not believable. Makes sense. Yeah. The guy drinks food. Who's dating that?
Fuck you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Honestly, I'll give it about a 6.5.
Okay. Okay.
We'll go 6.5. Right. It's obviously, you know what I mean. It's relatively made up. You know what I mean. But I think what lends a little bit, a very minute bit, a smidge, if you will, to credibility is we'll go with like cave drawings, right? Because clearly, like, you know what I mean, those have been there probably for a while, right? It's not
Absolutely.
like he's coming out drawing with chalk on the shit or whatever, you know what I mean? Like on the, just to kind of like make it so it's like probably been there for a while. I know Wisconsin is huge.
And a lot of it is still popular. Like there's not a lot of people up there in that northern section, so I can see something in the woods.
Lower Canada, upper states, like there's not a lot of inhabitable area up there. You know what I mean? Like realistically, right? So like I said, 6.5 because if you're gonna have a cryptid like that, it's gonna have to have fur, right? Like realistically, it's cold, So looking like that, it would make some semblance of sense. But yeah. Plus, if you're finding cave drawings up there, like that's huge. And then on top of that, Wisconsin is pretty much known a lot for their Native American population. So you know what I mean? It's one of those ones that it's believable, right? Like
I would say plausible. Like this would not
yeah.
be something that if they found one alive now, I wouldn't be like, there's no way. What?
Right. It would be like,
oh,
oh shit,
wow,
they
that's
finally
cool.
caught it. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, they actually like legitly got one. That's kind of cool.
That's what I'm thinking. I rate it usually about a 7, I think.
So I would say plausibility, my rating probably about 6.5, 6.5.
All right. Brendan?
I was going to go a little lower and say 5.
Okay.
I don't really know why. I just that statue makes me think something more Chinese than something that's here in America. So
I could see it.
Or Newt from Harry Potter let something out of his briefcase.
Is it the dragon eyes? Because I kind of get dragon eyes. Like
it's not the dragon.
I think it's like reptilian eyes.
It's the horns on the head and then the teeth.
Well, a dragon is a reptile, so
And T-Spiller, what you got?
I give it a 2.
Wow, you're gonna have a really bad night.
Really not going on that date, eh?
I'm gonna tell you now, Nick. This is one of the most believable of what we're gonna discuss this evening.
Then if that's the case, I'm going 1 here on out.
Hey, listen, the man is titled to his opinions, okay?
Why do you say 2, Nick?
I don't believe it's real at all. It looks like something out of a kid's book. I can believe I can believe there's cave drawings of it, but I believe there was just some kids who are like, I drew a creature, and the parents like, okay.
Hold on, let me see if maybe this will change his opinion. Okay. I'm gonna send this over to you real quick, Keegan.
On Facebook.
Oh, actually, you know what? Never mind. I can just share my screen real quick. Here, let me show you. So, just so you guys know, this is kind of the this is another possible interpretation of what people believe.
Here's one. This is a drawing of it from 1893.
Okay, here you go, Keegan. This guy right here.
No, that looks like a stuffed beaver that somebody mutilated.
I was about to say that looks like a really bad taxidermy job.
Yeah, it looks like a horrible taxidermy job. No,
but this does add the fur, like Nolan was talking about.
Yeah, because it looks like a bad taxidermied beaver.
So you admit that it looks like an animal that we know exists.
Because somebody mutilated a body.
So you could see this running around in the woods.
No. No.
So you're raising your 2 to a 6?
No.
Okay, good. So that is
I like how the caption for this picture is "What does the hodag look like?"
now you know.
It is a terrible, terrible sight. No, it's not real.
All right.
All right, you ready for the next level of fun, Nick? This
Oh,
one,
yeah, it's so much fun.
this one is called Another Thing. But if I told you that name, you would know where it was from. So I'm going to give you one of its aliases, the
Ooh.
Face Scratcher.
Cryptids
Nick, what do
with
you think this looks
aliases
like?
is crazy.
At a house, it sounds like a nickname for a cat.
It's a fair assessment, really.
All right, Brendan.
I don't know, mountains, caves.
Mountain. And Nolan, what about you? You heard Face Scratcher. Do you think it's out back right now in New Mexico?
No, but please tell me that its other alias is Butt Scratcher, because that would be great.
No.
Butt
No.
Scratcher? No?
And it's
Okay,
from
well,
Butte, Montana.
yeah.
I just can't wait for you guys to see this picture of what it looks like. It is
I'll
amazing.
say, if I was looking for this face scratcher, I believe it comes from Pakistan.
No. I'm thinking that the face scratcher realistically comes from the Midwest somewhere. That sounds like some Midwest shit if I'm being honest. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those scratchers there, those face scratchers will get you.
It's India.
So, huh?
It's India.
Did you look it up?
No,
Then how do you know that's what it is?
because I just do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, shit, if that's the case, then it sounds like a monkey if he's over here telling it's India. But yeah, that would have been my guess of somewhere like in the Midwest or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, any animal is a face scratcher. So like that's real. That's real vague,
Nolan,
buddy.
And realistically, any animal could be deadly.
Yeah, well, would it change your mind if I told you there are police sketches of what said animal looks like actual police sketches?
Mm-mm.
Why would it change my mind?
Mm-mm.
What's it changing my mind about?
Just where do you think it could appear? How deadly? I mean, if the police are involved, it's got to be a pretty deadly animal.
Nope.
I mean, if your face is getting scratched, that's really about it.
Nick still can't believe it.
Why? No, Nolan. What's with the Canadian accent?
Basically, Nick, I just wanted you to ask me so I could tell you not to worry about it. Okay? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
All right. How's about you don't worry about it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the face scratcher. It's, like I said, I'm saying Midwest, and it sounds honestly like a rodent.
A rodent. Nick, what kind of animal do you think this face scratcher would look like?
I already said it sounds like a cat.
A cat. And Brendan?
I originally thought bat.
A bat. David, if you just heard face scratcher, what type of animal are you thinking?
It's something underwater that just if you get close to it, it scratches your face and leaves a really nasty like rash, like a clam or something maybe, or like a coral type situation.
On that note, why don't we reveal the face scratcher, more prominently known as the Monkey Man of Delhi, which is in India.
Oh, see, that's. Please say the creature is 4'6", wears only a dark coat of hair. Eyewitnesses say it is 5'6", wears black and a sports helmet with shining red eyes. Those are two wildly different descriptions. They both look very monkey-esque.
It sounds like somebody was really drunk, couldn't see straight, and then that's what they described.
It's a midget in a gorilla costume with Freddy Krueger claws on its hands.
It kind of looks to me like
sounds like
somebody,
a kid's Halloween costume.
It looks to me like a dude that was committing a hate crime.
Right. But I will say there's a big difference between 4'6" and 5'6".
There might be more than one of them.
About a foot.
Yeah, there could be more
some would
than
say
one.
exactly.
Yeah, this could be two different encounters with two different monkey men. That's why they're a foot different, you know.
Yeah, and that's why one's dressed and one's not dressed. it's funny to me when I look at them because it looks like the Berenstain Bears. I don't
It
know why.
does a little bit, yeah. I
It
don't.
looks like a crackhead's version of Curious George.
Who's the artist here? That's my question.
A police
This-
sketch, apparently.
This is a professional. Yeah.
This is professional. Okay.
I don't know if these are the exact police sketches, but I know.
If this is professional, then I definitely have a future in art.
Yeah, so this cryptid was apparently experienced in May of 2001 when it was attacking people late at night. Now, later the next year, it was back attacking people late at night, which turned out just to be kids dressed up and trying to perpetrate this and keep the myth going. So, Nick,
It sounds exactly like that's what the case was the first time around. It was a kid's Halloween costume. It was late at night. Somebody got attacked by a kid. They're like,
And I say that because like there's a even in these two pictures, there's a big difference between both of these. Foot first and foremost, but also this one says creature wears only a dark coat of hair, and the other guy is dressed like is Chips from Chips. He is dressed.
Well, the first time it was a Halloween costume that he'd just gotten, and he was a younger kid. And then the second time, it was like a year or two later, he'd hit a growth spurt, and he'd lost the costume, but still had the mask.
Because like he looks like what's his face from Chips in that second picture.
well, Nolan, this is actually a very dangerous encounter that these people had. 350 sightings, 60 resulted in injuries, and 3 people died from the face scratcher.
The face scratcher is crazy.
To be fair, I think 2 of them fell off a building. So, but this
So
face,
my question is, I'm assuming yes. Did he scratch their faces?
yes, yeah, he was said to have red eyes, metal claws. So I think Brendan was kind of on that with the Kruger-like hands, and some reports that it wore roller skates.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are we sure that it's not just
It was-
the Indian
it-
Wolverine?
it was a smart child. It was a smart child.
Hey, Nick Hodai's looking pretty good now, ain't he?
No. No.
Now, scientists have come out and said that
Scientists analyze this shit.
yes, they have. Now, outside of the second one, which was seen to be kids, the working theory is this actually is an example of mass hysteria. Like these people got so spooked about the Monkey Man of Delhi that it was causing people to like get injured and see things. Like maybe they did see a monkey, or maybe given the claws and size, they saw a bear, a sloth bear, or something like that.
But
And-
but people were legitimately scratched
Yes.
in their face.
Legitimately?
Now, this is what it's known for on the cryptid page: attacking people at night, leaping
course.
between buildings.
He leaps between buildings.
So he's Hellboy.
He might be Superman. I don't know. And reportedly causing around 60 instances of injuries, including deaths. So
Those ones that died, how did he kill them? Beyond the
Let's
ones that
see.
fell off the building.
Right.
So the
So-
one
Wait, so this
So-
kid's got, so this cryptid's got a body count.
yes, it does. It has a body count. That's why the police were sketching it. This is a real day.
Okay.
I told you this was not your average like Nessie. We're gonna go to the walk and just see a nice little cryptid. This thing might kill you, Nolan. This,
This
we-
thing
face
ain't
scratchers?
killing. This thing ain't killing nobody
What's
because
the
it's not
back here?
real.
So 2 of the people reportedly died when they fell from the tops of buildings. 1 from down a stairwell. due
Okay,
to-
so that's gravity. That's not.
So
the scratcher.
he hasn't actually scratched anybody to death. They just get like, oh, and fall.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's gravity did the work for him, really. So it's not even him.
Oh, you still believe in gravity?
Just shut up.
Yeah, wait till our 4th cryptid, Nolan. It's the anti-gravity.
Oh my god, can you get this show on the road, please?
Oh, okay. Well, we know Nick is a big lover. Let's have you start.
I'm a
and-
big lover.
I didn't realize Nick was on such a time crunch. Damn.
Yeah, he shows up late. Rushes us.
I thought we were going to be talking about Olympic sports. I didn't think we were going to be talking about this.
Was it in the group chat? It was not in the
Well,
group
that's
chat.
actually
In the meetings.
That's actually a little note that we actually had prepared about that. He actually took bronze in the 1923 Winter Olympics. So
no, no, he didn't.
he was in the
Sort of.
biathlon, the skiing and shooting one. That's what the Monkey Man of Delhi really excels at.
He was in the fencing. He used his claws.
So this cryptid has been around since 2001 in India.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's a relatively new
stop.
cryptid.
This changes everything. These reports of these 60 plus incidents have been since the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm more intrigued. I was thinking this was like 1900s.
No, it's
Now I'm more
2001.
confused.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there are other ape men wandering around the nearby area, so maybe because of human encroachment, they've just been pushed into these bigger cities.
India's got a lot of problems with ape men. That's
Well,
Maybe
there is
an
the
epidemic that I don't know about in India.
there's the orang pendek, which is one of the bigger non-Sasquatch ape.
I'm just saying, am I a stupid American here, and I'm not caught up on my Indian monkey men? Like, is that?
Yeah, apparently so.
Huh. I thought I was cultured. I guess not.
And there's a reason a lot of their myths and things have to do with monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Monkey Man is like a very popular symbol, and it seems like this is the now reincarnation of him. So Nick, 1 to 10, how believable?
0. 1. 1. This thing's not real.
it has a track record.
I need a warning before we start doing videos like this.
Nick, people are dead because of this.
No, people are dead because they were drunk and fell off a roof.
All right. Well, on that note, Brendan.
Well, 8. It has a track record.
Oh my god, stop.
The police obviously took it seriously enough to make a sketch. So it's even funnier that these sketches come from the 2000s.
I know, it looks like some cartoon.
It looks like political cartoons from the 1800s.
It does. He's not wrong. It really does, dude. Like, what is my rating predicated on here? Because clearly it's real. It's a thing. However, I don't think it's a cryptid. I think it's just jackasses dicking around. Like,
I think it's a dude in a suit.
I like that. Yeah,
It's a kid's costume.
he's a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Okay. So
Am I the only one that, after looking at this one on the right more, that head is not very proportional to that body?
it's not. It looks massive. That's what I mean. Like, but it's also a helmet, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that's what makes it like wonky to me. Is wears black and a sports helmet. What monkey is wearing a sports helmet?
And the belt.
What-
It put on its belt.
What
too,
monkey
and
put a
it-
belt
it
and
buckled
boots
its
on?
belt. Yeah,
and gloves. Look, it has like gloves
That's not gloves. That's its
so that's what I'm
hands.
saying. It's
No.
like So
with
I'm
its
gonna
razor
give it.
sharp claws.
Listen, I'm gonna give it an 8 for plausibility here. Okay, 8 out of 10. But it is a very skeptical 8 out of 10 because it's plausible that it's just kids dicking around.
Okay.
So
No, I want 2 scores from you. I want you to tell me the plausibility, which we have an 8, and then
Okay.
what are the odds that it's a cryptid?
okay,
What are those numbers? 1
plausibility
to
is an
10.
8, right?
Okay.
It's clearly, you know what I mean, crazy enough for the
It's a
cop to be
thing.
drawing thing. It's a thing. Plausibility 8. Probably a cryptid 2. I'm giving it a 2. You know what I mean? I'm leaning heavily towards it's a kid in a suit or whatever, just like dicking around. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's my scores on that because like the second one there, this cryptid isn't worried about wearing pants, let alone buckling its belt and putting on a helmet for safety. You know what I mean?
And he hit every single one of those buttons.
Right. With
He
those
was
hands,
assing.
with those claws, with those, I don't think so. So again, 8 for plausibility, 2 for actually being a cryptid. It's very low.
All right. So let
Well,
us
David,
move on.
David,
Yeah.
what is your rating? Like, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts. Well, I'm gonna go with 7 of it being a thing because apparently people did see something. there was something there, regardless of if it was a cryptid, if it was a person in a suit, whatever kind of thing. I do believe that because if there's people that literally died and people that have injuries, they can prove that something happened. I think that's like 7 or 8 easily. As far as being a cryptid, I do lean towards it possibly being more of a hoax/prank situation. But as you mentioned, India does have a lot of history with ape-like creatures, especially in that area, like the Himalayas over there, things like that. Like there's a lot more land that they possibly could be encroached on, that they end up in this kind of society. And if it ran into a building of people, I could see it going crazy and slashing people up and sprinting away. The clothes aspect, absolutely not. Absolutely zero. No. Not a thing. Not a thing. Not a thing.
It's not a thing either way. It doesn't matter if it has clothes or not. It's not a thing.
Well, no, I'm saying that one of the clothes is much more likely to be somebody dressing up in something, especially if they just wanted to throw on a mask and like some fake claws and go like fuck shit up or scare people. I could see that actually being like a legitimate thing.
Especially when it says, it says it's 5'6" and it goes from 4'6" to 5'6". Like,
but if I'm looking at just the monkey part of it, like just the monkey man, I don't think it's all that implausible. Again, with all the land out there, as far back as things go, and there is a history of ape-like creatures, I think it's very possible there was a real one that people, saw and it kind of darted away, and then somebody else hearing about it imitated it by just throwing on a mask and then like putting on a helmet or whatever and doing what we see on the right-hand side.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was like, what if one is possibly real?
I think one, especially the one that was 4'6", I could, the big height difference, because one was a human, one was not. That I could buy into. So I'm going to go with a 5 of possibility of it being a real thing that was out there at some point.
Okay.
I think I might have mentioned this before. I personally believe out of all of the cryptid stories, at least the really well-known ones, I think the Yeti is the most likely actual cryptid. I feel like in the Himalayas, with as sparse as it is of people up there, there's nobody out there. It is definitely not beyond, I think, the realm of possibility that there is some kind of giant ape type creature that lives in the mountains and is away from people. Like it's so few that anybody goes up there and ever see it. If it's adapted to that higher climate, the weather, everything like that, I think it's very, very possible that a Yeti is out there.
But aren't they just saying like the Yeti is basically the Nepalese Sasquatch?
I mean, yeah, it would be the same thing as like Bigfoot basically, but I think that it's even more likely that like something like that would adapt to live in the mountains, because it would basically just be a giant primate that had adapted to mountains.
So like basically like the difference is you have brown bears and polar bears, and that's you know.
And we're just saying that this is basically a form of gorilla that adapted to this environment instead of jungles and warmer. So I think that's actually a very, very in the realm of possibility. So if I believe that something like that is possible, because I would rate that like a 9. Like I'm very confident that there could be something like that plausibility wise. It's not that crazy to think that some other weird mutation of sorts, adaptation of monkey, maybe somewhere closer to places with people, that it scrambled into the wrong place and got seen a little bit, and then somebody took off and did what they did, with the costume and all. But I could see like a larger, previously unfound form of primate.
Okay, I'm going to change my cryptid rating. You've talked me into it. It is now a 3.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, in terms of what's possible, it's not the craziest. Now, again, this is not the clothes. If we're talking about the clothes and all that stuff, absolute 0.
Right.
So, I just want to say my theory on this is it was just a sloth bear, which have been known to be aggressive at times.
Now, aren't they all gone?
No, they're alive. This is what one looks
not
like.
sloth bear. I was thinking a giant sloth. Sorry.
Yeah, no. They can stand up. They have big claws. They can scratch. They're about
so something
5
like this.
feet.
I mean,
yeah, that's standing up. It looks about 4.5 feet. Yeah.
I hate saying this because I know people use this a lot, like to write off cryptids, but one of these with like mange, where it had less hair and stuff and looked a little funkier, absolutely could be somebody in the dark seeing it, being like, "Oh shit, a monkey man."
Yeah, and it's the right size. It's the right location.
If he stands up like that, like looks similar. It's very possible.
And again, it was nighttime, and if people spooked it and it was trying to get away, just sees them as threats.
Or if it had a cub, like if it was a mother one, and
or like or if it had like, you could see this if it had like a helmet, and maybe like some paint.
If it escaped from a circus and they had a circus sloth bear with a helmet and stuff on, maybe
that's actually not like, it's funny, but that's not out of the realm of possibility.
All right. So now that we've moved past that
hey,
one,
hey, that would explain why some people think it was on roller skates.
the roller skates part, I lost it when I was reading.
It was a roller skating sloth bear.
That's
All right. Well,
We just
David,
We solved it.
we solved
hit
it.
shit all the time.
Now,
If bears can ride unicycles, why can't sloth bears ride roller skates?
right. Well, see, the good news is David can only go up from that one. I mean, the next cryptid has to be much realer, right?
Definitely. Probably not. So, our next creature, very interesting one here. You may have heard of this one. I don't know. This is I didn't go as obscure as I was originally going to with these. These are ones that you can kind of know about if you do any research on cryptids. So, this may ring a bell. You may have heard of it before, but this is called the Snallygaster. All right, Snallygaster. So where do we think this is from, and what does it look like? Nolan?
The Snallygaster is from Wales, and I know it goes back to it, but I'm gonna go back to dragon, some form of dragon.
Okay, so you already knew about it then.
No, that's literally.
I'm just kidding. You did. No, you're not
okay.
right.
Because I was like, bro, I was like, no, that was cool that I just nailed that. But
It's gonna be like nailed it. You got it.
but if
It's
I'm being
actually
honest,
a giant squid, Nolan. I'm sorry.
You're not super far off on one of the things. Nick,
Cool.
What was the name of the creature again?
Snallygaster.
Snellygaster.
Snally.
Snowly.
Snallygaster. It's one word. Snallygaster.
Okay, that sounds like something out of like a Harry Potter book.
Okay.
And I'm guessing a lizard of some kind.
All right. And have we lost Brendan?
We might have Brendan.
Giant snail.
Yeah. See, I would say if I didn't know what it was, I would say Snell alligator mixture. That's kind of what I would picture.
Okay. So before we reveal all about the Snallygaster, I do want to just do a quick mention. This is something we can do a deep dive on some other day. I don't know if anybody would want to, but so everybody's kind of familiar with the fact that dragons are something that literally pop up in every culture, like going far back to where people that never interacted with each other all over the world and stuff, they still have those myths of dragons, and they look almost exactly the same in every instance of people talking about them. And that's one of the things that people use as evidence that, hey, there might have been something actual real that was similar to what we think of as dragons, right? So another creature very similar to that is giant snails.
Mm-hmm.
You will find pictures, drawings, descriptions, and everything of giant snails in the past, literally in every culture. And the odds of that actually being a real thing are actually very high compared to stuff like dragons, just because they do believe it's on the same kind of aspect of things like the giant plants that used to be around in the world, giant sloths, things like that. A lot of that kind of more peaceful things were huge. Because like we know the giant sloth was a real thing. It got to like the size of fucking bears. Like they were massive.
seriously,
But they do believe, yeah, sloths at one point were huge.
Bigger
They
than
lived in
bears.
caves.
They're up to like 20 feet long. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was actual giant. Like you could ride it.
well, yeah, I mean, because I personally I believe in the megalodon, so having a 50-foot shark, not like they already get to 25 feet, 26, like they get pretty big.
And
So
the
having
aspect
another
that the
20 feet on top of
world,
that, not unlikely.
there was so much more with the oxygen richness of the environment, like lots of things that just allowed these things to prosper and grow, kind of like a goldfish that grows depending on what size bowl you're putting it in, kind of thing.
Right. It just because
So
that's the thing about fish, dude. They keep getting bigger than if you just let them.
exactly. So
yeah.
There's actually some pretty big evidence that maybe back then when things weren't as populated and all, there really could have been some very massive snail type things. Maybe not as big as like people, but like the size of dogs, things like that, that there were giant snails.
I believe it.
I think is wild. Yeah. Okay, but the Snallygaster, believe it or not, hails from Maryland. right here in the good old USA. And I'm gonna read this description straight off Wikipedia for you guys because it is hard to describe. It is a bird reptile chimera. It originated with early German immigrants, and it actually got picked up in newspapers and such around Maryland when people supposedly saw it in different cities, different places. Later reports would expand on sightings encompassing an area to include Central Maryland, Berkeley County, West Virginia, and even the Washington, D.C. metro area of people seeing this giant creature. Keegan, if you want to bring up a picture of this lovely thing. This is the snallygaster.
That is. Alright,
So the name,
because those wings are not going to support the weight of that monster.
the name, they originally called it the Schnellergeist, which meant quick ghost, because it would just come in and grab things and be gone. It was described as half reptile, half bird, having a very sharp metallic type beak lined with razor sharp teeth. And occasionally it would also have octopus-like tentacles, as you can see from the mouth there. It was rumored to swoop silently from the sky to pick up and carry off its victims. So, earliest kind of report to this was 18th century. Then it came back in the 19th century. Some people think that it was brought back to scare off slaves who tried to escape or who were freed because they were told the snallygaster would get them and kill them. So that's not good. But then we get to the 20th century, and there's actually newspaper accounts from the 1909 was when it came out through February and March. And it was talking about local residents and a monster with enormous wings, a long pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the center of its forehead, because it is just a cyclops there. It would make screeches like a locomotive whistle, so it sounds like a train. And it got such publicity, the Smithsonian offered a reward for anybody that could bring in the hide of one of these creatures. Supposedly nobody has taken them up on that, but it could be in the secret Smithsonian, okay? So we can't discount that. Now, apparently, Mr. Theodore Roosevelt, president at the time, he reportedly considered postponing an African safari he was going to do and was going to personally hunt down the snallygaster.
Yeah,
He was going to cancel his trip and go find this instead.
Well, he's made of wax, Larry. What are you made of?
And then basically it has popped up all over the place. There was reports of some men who claimed it attacked them at like a general store type thing, and they fought with it all through the night. Like these 4 guys all fought the snallygaster off. And while they didn't kill it, they did eventually, get it to leave them alone, I guess. But it has apparently gone after different villages, different settlements, and I guess it's just kind of a dick. He just goes around and eats things. In New Jersey, it was reported that its footprints were discovered in the snow. In West Virginia, it was said that the flying beast almost caught a woman and then was found roosting in a farmer's barn and laid an egg the size of a barrel. I don't know what they did with that egg. They may have eaten it. But a man in Ohio wrote a letter to the Valley Register. He talked about the creature, how it flew over his area, making terrible screeching noises, and he described it as having 2 enormous wings. So not this picture. A large horny head and a tall 20 feet, or tail 20 feet long. It's mostly seen in Maryland around like the countrysides, things like that. But what I think is interesting is this has actually made kind of a comeback, as the snallygaster not only has a festival now, it has a beer named after it that kind of is very big. And as I think somebody actually mentioned, the snallygaster is actually canon to the Harry Potter universe. They actually, J.K. Rowling has added it in when they did an actual publication long before the movie. They did an actual book that she wrote out that was supposedly the Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them, like compendium that had a bunch of creatures in it and such. And one of the monsters in there is the Snallygaster, described very similar to how people have supposedly actually seen it. And what I think is really funny about it is they say that not only is it bulletproof and very difficult to harm at all, it is such a nuisance that there is an official, it often breaches the International Statute of Wizarding Society of keeping things secret. So there's a dedicated protection league that all they do is handle sightings of the Snallygaster because it goes and messes with muggles so much that it would break the secrecy of the wizarding world if they didn't have a dedicated society that does nothing but erase the memories of people who see this.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, right?
No, I mean, like, realistically, to some degree.
In a real world, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of weird and goofy looking, or sounding or whatever, but like realistically. Yeah.
So the last thing I would like to say, because I know this is kind of a scary creature compared to the ones we've looked at so far, right? This is probably my favorite bit about this creature. And let me make sure I'm getting the name right. Because you guys will be very happy. I see Nick is getting kind of scared down there, that he's worried that he can't go to see Maryland because the Snallygaster will get him. The Snallygaster is not given like free reign to attack us. God, Mother Nature, the world, something, the universe has given us a protector from specifically the Snallygaster. And he has a rival. And this rival protects humans and tries to fight off the Snallygaster whenever he appears. His rival is named the Dwayyo, Dwayyo. Some people say that he is a Sasquatch that fights off the Snallygaster. And other people say that he is more of a kind of wolf-like creature that stands up on his legs. He's described as a mammalian beast with features similar to a wolf, but on two legs. And they are mortal enemies. So if you're ever getting really scared, don't worry. The Dwayyo is going to save you. Okay? So what do you guys think? Brendan, let's start with you. Oh, is that the Dwayyo?
That is the Dwayyo, yeah.
That's just the monkey minute.
It's back.
A face scratcher with a tail, bro.
Just a side profile.
This is just a fox that got excited.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
So like a 7?
That's squid dragon thing. I don't know. That's ridiculous.
So
1,
like
like
10?
a 7?
100, definitely. That's totally real.
All right,
No.
100. Write it down.
Snallygaster jumps in the lead. Nick, why don't you tell us how you feel about this?
We can't hear him either. He just...
I hate this experience. This isn't real. Nothing is real about this creature. And I'm questioning my life choices.
Because you haven't seen the Snallygaster yet? Now I will say, I don't want to add to this lore without proof, but Brendan, would you agree this might be related to the Kansas Kite Monster?
No.
I see some resemblance, don't you, Keegan?
Maybe they saw the Kansas Kite Monster flying off with like an octopus, and then they drew this up.
See, I'm kind of thinking this could be its Midwest cousin. That's like the coastal variation is the Snallygaster, and more around like the fields, the open plains. It evolved to be that more kind of giraffe form and kind of, like the savannas of Africa. It makes sense. So Nick, we're putting you down for 5. Is that what you said?
Nope. It's a 1.
All right. Still beating the monkey then, because the monkey got 0.
It's a 0. No, because you said a 1 from 1 to 0. I can't give 0 if 0 is not an option. So 1.
Okay, so just as good as the Monkey Man. Nolan.
Oh my god, I hate this.
It's I don't know, because like I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know what?
Now again,
Maybe
this is not an accurate. This is not like a sketch. This is just somebody's idea. The reports have all said it has much bigger wings. Because I agree with you, these wings would never hold this creature.
that would never hold that creature. So
Yeah,
what
they
I'm
have
thinking
more.
is,
From what I've seen, is more like bat-like wings, and it's like massive, like a dragon.
okay, see, that's like it's a little bit different. But I realistically, I'm thinking it's just a big ass bird. It's a big bird with who's carrying an octopus or whatever, like in his mouth. You
And
know what I
maybe
mean?
have like an eye missing, like it'd been poked out or something.
Right, and it's because to me, a lot of people I don't think they understand how big birds are sometimes, or like how big they can get, because you see them fly up 100, 200 feet in the air, and you're looking like, oh, it's like a bird, and then you realize that the dumpster chickens in Alaska are as tall as the dumpster. You know what I mean? So it's like
Like I could see this being like an eagle type thing or hawk variant.
that, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like realistically, and that birds eat octopi or whatever. Like it's
I could, yeah, if there was an octopus like hanging out on some rocks, maybe or something, like right below the surface, because
right.
eagles and like birds of prey do swoop into the water to catch their stuff sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. So like it's one of those ones that like I could see that being a thing, right? Especially because like this one isn't just like it's a new one. This goes way back, right? Like it's a
It does. It goes back to the 18th century. That people have seen it
goes
since then.
back a little ways, right? So yeah, so like I'm thinking maybe that's what it is people don't really have a context of how big birds are sometimes. Like
Now,
like
people
how-
have supposedly been seeing this same one though for those decades, for those centuries that we're going along.
yeah, but see right here, like this right here, honestly looks like an eagle. Like this
Yeah?
looks like an eagle.
Now,
Kind
I
of-
will say the tentacle part is the one that is sometimes said, sometimes not. So if anything's going to get thrown out, it would be the tentacle part, which I think adds to maybe it being something a bird picked up.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like if it's not there, so because yes, like I said, I don't think people understand. Like I have a picture of a lady holding an eagle, and the eagle is about 3/4 of my body.
Yeah, no, they're huge. They're like
And
2 or
like
3
granted,
feet
I'm
tall.
not a very tall person, but you know what I mean. Like it's still,
But it's not like this.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
It is a very large bird.
Like eagles are like the size of a decent sized dog.
Right, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some ravens or crows or whatever. I think crows are smaller, but ravens are big. Like no one really understands how big an actual raven is until they see one, and that's
they're
what I
large.
meant
Yeah.
by like literally the dumpster is 4.5, 5 feet tall. Right, it's the lip of a dumpster, and the birds are on their feet, even with the dumpster, and it's like that's almost a 5-foot bird, bro. Like that's huge.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like one of those ones that I used to make this joke or whatever when I was like, man, Hitchcock afraid of birds. Like what kind of, that's funny. Haha. Like that. And then I go,
And then you see some of those birds.
and then you see some of the birds and you're like, oh, I get it. Especially because like, I'm pretty sure the condors right before they went extinct, they're
Huge.
absolutely massive birds. Right. So it's, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those ones that it's not implausible for that to be a condor realistically, right? Carrying.
Just so you're aware, the condor is not extinct.
Yeah, the California and Andean condor are still living.
They're
The one you're
endangered. They're not
probably
extinct.
thinking of is
And they're actually on the
Argentina.
rise.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I thought they were like extinct or like very, very close to.
No, they were close. They're getting better. It is still critically endangered, but the numbers are rising. So that's a
Cool.
good thing.
Even better. But either way, you know what I mean? Realistically, condors are massive, massive birds. So it's, it's not out of the realm of possibilities there for that people to see a condor or carrying a big ass squid or something like that and think it's a monster,
I agree.
So-
And real quick, I would like you guys to see this, and I want to see if this changes anybody's opinion. Okay. Keegan, I'm going to ask you to let me share in just a second here. Nick, I need you to see this because you would not believe this is real because you were already bitching about animals. This is a real bird. Go ahead, Keegan.
Which one is it?
This right here.
I can believe that's a real bird.
Really? Because you were saying the Hodag looked like it was from. This looks like it's from a storybook too.
It does, but also the Hodag looks way more like a made up creature.
This is the real creature. Those other ones were just representations of it. So I'm just saying. And Keegan, if you want to pull up for people, if you want to show them a shoebill stork really quick, and don't tell me
Shoebill stork is quite
that people
large.
that people wouldn't think this might be something snallygaster-ish. Look at this thing. Or look down at your phone.
No, shoebill storks are huge.
They are massive, and they do not look real.
Yeah, I'll get you this one, and then I'll get one with the size. Give me 1 second.
Nick, stop looking at your lap and look at the screen.
Why are you getting
Brendan,
after me?
jeez.
Why are you getting after me?
There we go. Does this look real to you? Nick?
That's a real, it's a real bird.
Exactly.
Yeah, part of the heron family.
And don't tell me that people didn't see this like in the 1900s and be like, "That is a monster."
No, that's a death bird, bro. Like that thing is coming for your soul.
Well,
Like that is a creature.
hey, I can actually do you one better. Hold on. Wait till you see this one.
I
Is
saw a
this the
video
show?
on that one and the noises they make.
It sounds like a gun, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can't
that's a
tell me that's
snallygaster.
not a snallygaster. Like
Seeing this,
know
I think
what?
it's 10 out of 10 right now.
a giant eel in its mouth, but those things are huge and terrifying. Like, plus,
I'm
like,
curious now. Let's see.
You ever seen like an ostrich? Like those things are 6.5 feet tall, bro. Like, come on.
Well, Argentavis was a big bird that went extinct.
Now, before we move on, Nolan, you need to give us a number.
Oh yeah, sorry. Snallygaster being real or plausible. Again, I'm gonna give that one a 5 for plausibility.
You just made Nick's. He just sighed so hard.
Okay. And here, Nick, let me here, I'll help you out. I'll do 4. Better? Okay. So a 4 plausible, realistically probably giant ass bird. Probability of giant ass bird 8.5.
Nolan, you shouldn't tear yourself down to please others. You can't always please everyone.
Yeah, I know.
So profound. So profound, Brendan.
Brendan, I disagree. Nolan can please everybody.
That's a true statement.
Ladies. And Keegan, where do you stand on the snallygaster of Maryland?
1 out of 10. But if there was a way for the shoebill stork to come into America,
Which is very possible that somebody brought it over.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely possibilities for a lot of cryptids having just been escaped cargo. This could have been one of it. It could have ate
It's a bird.
an
It's got
octopus.
wings. It can fly. Yeah.
Not from
Now,
Africa.
they are native, at least currently, to Central and East Africa.
Well,
Now, personally, I'm gonna give it a 5 because I do believe it's possible some kind of giant bird, kind of like Nolan and such has said, and Keegan, maybe not a shoebill, but just a giant bird in general, because people do not know bird sizes. I fully believe it is easy that there could have been some form of large predator bird that was born just a little fucked up, a little mutated. Maybe it was born with only the one eye, because that happens all the time in nature. Animals born a little different and stuff. And if it only had like that one big eye instead of having both eyes like it should, and then maybe some other kind of mutation to make like the bottom feathers not grow in as well or something, it would have that look of some kind of thing like this. And in the dark, something like that swooping down takes your chicken. No reason you wouldn't think it's a monster or creature of some kind. So if it's an actual cryptid, that's going to be lower, probably like a 2. But in terms of there being something similar to this, I think 5 is pretty reasonable. That it definitely could be something they saw, especially because so many people saw it through that span of time. Obviously, something was seen at some point. There's no way the entire thing was made up. And personally, I think he and the Monkey Man would be very good friends.
That brings us to our next cryptid, and could it be the most possible one? We'll find out. I think there could be some intrigue with this one.
Can
The
I ask
bad
a
thing
quick?
is,
Can I ask a quick question?
Nick,
Okay.
it's going to be an 8. It's going to be an 8 from you. I can tell.
No, it's a 1. The Snowlygaster does not exist. None of these
We're not
creatures
talking.
exist.
It's not the
We're
Hodag
talking about
might.
the new one. The
You
new
know,
one.
Okay. How many of these are there tonight?
There's 3 more. There's 3
We're
more.
halfway through.
The
Halfway
good news.
through, I gotta review trivia, man.
The
This
good
is good
news.
trivia. Make us some Snallygaster questions.
The good news. This one is not wearing clothes, so I think that raises the possibility.
Uh-oh.
That it's
R-rated.
Now the name is the Mobiliu. Just hearing that, what do you think it is, and where could you find this creature?
I think it's a drug hallucination because from somebody who had a really bad stutter. It's not real.
Okay, Brendan.
Nick is not fun in this game.
I didn't want to play this game.
I don't know. Whenever you said the first part, my mind went straight to Mothman. So that's all I'm thinking of now. So I know it's
So
not.
West Virginia?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
No.
Nolan.
You're gonna have to run it back for me one more time.
The Mobiliu.
I'm gonna go with Africa. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Africa, and African skinwalker
Oh, I like that.
is what I think I might go with on this one. That I feel like that's the
vibe.
play. Yeah, that's the vibe. That's the play. It's something like that. Like maybe like an African African shapeshifter, possibly.
If you just heard this name, what would you think? Like,
I think it's going to be I think it hails from Sri Lanka. And I believe it is some form of kind of like the closest thing that we could probably use to describe it is kind of a giant otter. It's very kind of river based, but can come in and out of the water. Its eyes do glow bright blue during a full moon, and it subsists mainly by stealing eggs from other creatures.
Did you guys know that beavers build dams because they can't stand running water?
I didn't know that. I do know their anal secretions are used to make the flavor vanilla.
Oh, that's even more wild.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was just you said beaver, and I just learned that the other day.
I said otter, but
otter, beaver, it's the in and out of the water, same diff. But it just was one of the. I guess they have
like
to
facts
stop
like-
because they can't stand the
facts
sound
like
of running
those
water.
things, like facts like that. If you think about it, that doesn't make these cryptids really all that crazy,
It doesn't realistically. Yeah,
right,
Sorry.
Nick?
just really weird and random thing. But yeah.
all right. Well, this one, while it hasn't been witnessed a lot because of its habitat, because
What?
David's right, it is a water-based cryptid, one that
Oh.
likes rivers and lagoons, making its identification hard. Now, luckily for cryptozoologists, a guy by the name of Roy Mackle, who I think a lot of people know from the Mekele Mbembe stuff, because he was a big component of that, said he may have encountered a woman whose parents in the 1980s may or may not have seen this creature emerging from the waters of Africa. So it's kind of like a mixture of Nolan and David there.
AKA
I know my
perfection.
African language when I hear it. I'm just saying. So basically, it's a
Looks like a
stegosaurus.
dinosaur.
You stop.
It's a Spinosaurus.
It's
Now, yes, its main defining feature is quote unquote plates. But again, this creature is mainly seen underwater. And I think the Stegosaurus part really came from Mackle, who was looking for living dinosaurs and has listed like 5 or 6 in his book.
Right.
And he got this one from a lady pointing at the Stegosaurus, and he was like, that must be it.
now.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like if we're talking about plates, you ever seen
How does it
an
swim?
African crocodile by chance?
That's true. This could just be somebody seeing an alligator.
No, crocodile, mate. Much
That's
bigger,
true.
much spinier plates. Especially.
Nolan, do you know the
size.
one place in the world where crocodiles and alligators live together?
Unsurprisingly, here.
Correct.
No, not in New Mexico. What's wrong
Well,
with
not in
you?
New Mexico, but in the States.
I know where specifically.
Oh, Florida,
That's
Louisiana,
right. The Everglades.
The Everglades.
The
Yeah.
Florida Everglades is the only place you find wild crocodiles and alligators together.
And alligators, yeah. Look, I don't know a lot about cryptids, you know what I mean, but I do know quite a bit about animals and zoologies. So, and especially
Which is
because,
only a half step away from cryptozoology.
kind of realistically, right?
Yeah.
But in a weird way though, Keegan, like, and I say that because, like, obviously plates, spikes, they're very high on a crocodile, right? Especially on the tail. And judging by this, like the face, crocodiles are very thin. Their beaks
And they got
are
that
not beaks, but their
snout.
faces are a lot narrow
There's
compared to the alligator, which is more triangular. So it seems similar, right? Like one would think. But like realistically, if he's looking for dinosaurs, like you found it if you're looking at the crocodile or an alligator anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not too far off, but yeah, it's one of those ones that's what I would call it if with the knowledge I have today, not back then in the stories or whatnot, right? So that's what I'm guessing, because like realistically, another one of those like weird cryptid things or whatever that comes up or that people bring up or whatever are sturgeon, and it's like, yo, have you ever seen a sturgeon in the water? Have you ever seen how big they are? Have you ever seen the spiny plates that are on their back? Like, that's a monster, bro. Like, I'm thinking that's a sea monster. So it's like,
and see, that's not too far off of what some people kind of speculate people are actually seeing under the water, because a lot of the sightings are just people looking into the water and really just seeing the plates. So this comes from Cryptozoological Con, where somebody kind of tried to draw a realistic one based off of a real fish. And this is what they think it would have been.
And that looks unsurprisingly very close to, again, these sturgeons or things like that are out there. I don't know if Africa has sturgeons like that, but it's one of those ones that, like, now
Well, yeah, I mean, who else does the medical procedures there?
I said sturgeons, mate, not surgeons.
Oh, sorry.
But yes, no, it's like realistically, it's like you look at that or whatever, or under the water, it crocodiles, you can see the shape. Like the shape is still relatively the same, so it wouldn't be too far off, like to see, back scales or plates like that of a crocodile, which are pretty spiky.
Brendan, what are your thoughts on this cryptid here?
Wait. No, but what? Nolan, what's your score?
Oh, I'm guessing I don't know, for it being a cryptid, I'm gonna give it pretty low. I'm gonna probably give this one a 2. Realistically, most likely probably a Stegosaurus for an 8. Yeah.
Okay, Brendan.
But no, like I said, most likely being an alligator or some other type of animal or something. Because that's another thing. Like water cryptids, you're exactly right. Water cryptids are very, very funky for the simple fact that most of the time they are submerged. So you're only seeing.
I mean, not only that, but I fully believe there's plenty of things under the waters that we have never found.
Dude,
that if we suddenly saw, we would be like, oh, that's a cryptid looking thing. Like, look how crazy those deep sea fish look.
A perfect example, before they started getting into space, NASA was doing the ocean, and they found some stuff and said, nah, bro, we'll go the other direction.
They're like, never mind, this is too scary.
Nah, bro, we're cool. Yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go up instead of down. So yeah, it's one of those. You're exactly right, though. Like, you see a lot of stuff. Shit, I'm sure. Realistically, I'm sure an anglerfish, if you described it to somebody that didn't know anything about the world, they would probably think that's a monster or a cryptid or some sort. Hell, you look at it.
Dang it, Nolan! You just ruined my third cryptid. So
sorry. So yeah, but no, I'm giving plausibility of it actually being a cryptid probably 2. I mean, it just realistically, alligator probably 7.5, or crocodile 7.5. Murky water, like Africa doesn't have crystal clear lakes, waters, anything. Like you're catching all nothing but murk, dude.
I think I agree with Nolan. I think it could be, crocodile or something. That looks too fake to me.
Fake or too much like a dinosaur?
Too much like a dinosaur.
That's two different things, because living dinosaurs is a whole different subject of the possibility that they did not go all extinct the way that we thought. This
we
could
do
very
have
well
birds.
be.
We do
like-
have birds.
I mean, think about, well, who's to say that this was not a dinosaur type that adapted to live in the waters, and that kind of kept it safe from what was going on with the cataclysm that happened, and they still exist just more as a amphibious kind of creature now, and being able to live in those waters to stay safe from all the ash that was in the air.
Right.
I don't think that that's impossible.
What were
I mean,
those dinosaurs that looked like kind of like platypus? Like they had big like flippers, but they had like the rolly tongues that like with the teeth that would like unroll and like would roll back up like into the mouth. Something like that.
That was a fruit by the foot commercial.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about, Noel?
I don't know what it's called. That's why I'm asking what it is. You guys are the cryptid masters here. Keegan's our resident dinosaur guy, so I thought maybe he would know.
Anyway, so Brennan, what are you giving it?
It's a Paleosaurus or some shit. I don't know.
Realistic of something else? Yeah, probably a 7. If it's a cryptid,
Okay.
I'd say 3.
Not
I
bad.
just think that thing, that way that is, I don't think it's believable.
Okay. Nick?
Realistic is something else I can see. I'll give a 5. Cryptid 1.
He doesn't
Jeez,
believe
Nick.
in dinosaurs.
I believe in dinosaurs, but
Oh, he's one of those guys.
I believe in dinosaurs, and I also, I believe, like what David mentioned earlier, I think it's like only 70% of our ocean has been unexplored.
Yeah, it's
So
very
it's
hot.
There's a lot of it.
It's very possible there is a creature that we
I
have
mean,
not even seen yet. Or
realistically,
creatures, but-
until like kind of modern age, basically, they thought that the giant squid was not real.
That's crazy. And then they
Yeah.
find it off the coast of Japan, wrapped around.
I mean, it's just, but then there's also the thing of like the old sea creatures that people used to see. They know for a fact, at least some of them, it was actually just whale penises.
Mhm.
probably. But
No. If you look up
No,
whale penis,
it is,
it looks
yeah.
like a giant tentacle like creature kind of thing. And if they just saw that like off the ship, they would think, "Oh God, it's a creature." No, it wasn't. It was just a whale.
Yeah. What is it? It's the plesiosaur.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, with like this like a brontosaurus, almost like neck type
Plesiosaurus.
head, and
Yeah, it's a
then
brontosaurus,
it
but
almost
it's
it almost looks like Nessie.
got a big long. Yes. But
Yeah.
some people expect exactly what Nessie is actually.
Yeah, plesiosaurus.
The plesiosaurus or whatever.
But Nolan, that is not a dinosaur, so
Yes, it is, bro. I call it the swan of the sea, if you will. Okay.
So
it's a
I'm gonna say with my rating on this,
Plesiosaur.
I'm gonna give it a 6 or 7. I think it's very possible that there are some prehistoric creature type things that got in under the wire that were not wiped out, found a way to adapt to live in different environments and kind of continue to live on. Like Keegan said, a lot of things have become birds. Obviously, mammals survived to become the predominant species after that. And if you're going to believe something like, again, Nessie still around, sea monster type thing, like that's the prevalent history there, is that it's something ancient that continued to live. I don't think that it's that crazy to think that some kind of dinosaur adapted to the water and looks like this. I don't know if it's like a bunch of them. I think my thing here is it's not a cryptid.
No.
I think that it is a creature that's not. I don't think it was a mistake. Like, I don't think it's an alligator that they saw. It could be either a crocodile. I think that's very possible. But I also think it's very possible that it was like a dinosaur type that just lived, and it wouldn't be a cryptid. It would be a dinosaur. So I feel like it's kind of slightly different categories, like adjacent, but not really something cryptozoological as much as prehistory that we thought was wiped out. So I would say one cryptid wise, because I don't think it's anything spectacular like that. I do think it's very possible that it's just an ancient dinosaur species that managed to find a way to keep living. I don't know if it's still around now, because it sounds like it was only seen a couple of times. From what, and especially if it's mainly underwater, but we still would have seen it, I think, more, because if it comes on land at some point, somebody would have seen it. For now, I'm going to say, if we're saying possible dinosaur, 7. Cryptid, I'd give it like a 1. And I'm going to go with 8 for it maybe being a crocodile that was unfortunately seen as a cryptid. because
Right.
the guy who's talking about it isn't even the one who saw it. He's already hearing it third hand, so it gets a little blurred there. But I think they definitely
realistically,
saw something.
it wouldn't even be a Stegosaurus. It would look probably more like a Leopleurodon. You know what I mean?
Leopleurodon,
Yeah.
Charlie,
Leopleurodon,
come see
Charlie.
the Leopleurodon with us, Charlie.
Which I'm pretty sure Leopleurodons became crocodiles. So
No, they
yeah.
didn't. They did not.
no, they didn't.
No.
You sure about that?
Yes. I
Sure
am.
about that? You sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure
They're-
about that?
A lot of scientists actually think they're closer to turtles. So
What, Leopleurodons are closer to turtles?
yeah,
And I mean, how
crocodilians.
often, how often do you
Crocodilians
see
are
giant
archosaurs.
turtles? How often do you see giant turtles without their shell? This could be it.
Also true, but also turtles don't have a face like that, bro. Like,
No, they have much rounder, much. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So
Right. Or the mosasaur. The mosasaur is another one.
Yeah, Mosasaur's still out there. The Meg.
I mean, mosasaurs are
Megalodon?
just monitor lizards. So I mean, we have Komodo dragons still.
Yes, which are
Unless
venomous.
you ask Nick, he would give it a 1.
So for my rating, I think this is 1 out of 10 on like all fronts. I think if you guys were to read his book and kind of like know what he was looking for and why he wanted dinosaurs, it makes sense why he was finding them. But
you know what they say: if you go looking, you're gonna go find it.
on the off chance, what if Animal Planet, with their pseudo documentary on speculative evolution, created the rattleback for real and sent it back? Now, kind of like what David was showing, this is what a rattleback would look like. I think 10 out of 10. I mean, I think it actually time traveled back into the past, into the 1980s. Nick, would you agree there?
So hold on. So we're saying that of all people, Animal Planet has not only the ability to create life, but has also mastered time travel. Is that where we're sitting with this?
Correct.
I feel like that's where we're sitting with this, David.
No, I'm on board. I just wanted to make sure I had it clear. Okay.
I mean, look at this thing. The minute I saw it, I was like, I think this is what happened.
Probably, actually. I'm looking at
And
it.
you know
yeah.
what? You know what? I see some fur on him there.
Yeah.
Did we ever get a backside view of the Monkey Man of Delhi?
No, this could be the Monkey Man without clothes.
That explains the helmet. Yeah.
It was spikes.
It explains the helmet.
No, but the future as well is kind of a fun little, I don't know, just look at what could happen millions of years into the future. But while we were talking about it, I was looking at it, I was like, that kind of looks like the rattleback. So that's why I brought that up.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We're all going to turn into crabs anyways, apparently.
All right, David.
I'd prefer a crab over a roach. So.
Yeah.
All right. So my last one, I have saved one of the best ever for last. And I think this is one that Nick in particular is really going to relate to. I think, I feel like everybody
relate to it.
Everybody, when you start talking about cryptids, you always find one that's like your favorite, one that you resonate with. Like me personally, it's the jackalope, though I'm also a big fan of Mothman. Keegan, what was your favorite, would you say?
No, I mean, I like the jackalope. Growing up in Colorado, we used to see postcards and restaurants and stuff all over the place. But Bigfoot's super classic, and it's probably the most realistic one for me. And that's
Right,
why
like I was saying
think
about the Yeti, because the Yeti is just a variant of Sasquatch. I do
it's
agree.
just a giant ape. Like we have those.
It's also
living-
been seen the most.
Mhm.
And there's so much, like if you take road trips anywhere in the Northeast, the Midwest stuff, like there's so much land that they could be on that people haven't found. Like,
Yeah,
no.
bro, he's definitely, but he
if
definitely
I had
falls in
to,
the category.
if I had to pick, yeah, I do think Sasquatch is very one of the most realistic possible. Wouldn't you agree, Nick?
No, but David.
Yeah,
about
I'll agree
the
with you on
North
that one. I'll
Okay.
agree with you on that one. I
What
will
about
say
the-
I do not agree that he's been seen on Mars, but that's just me.
That
What about
would
the
blow
most
so many
underrated,
brains.
David?
Most underrated?
Kansas Kite Monster?
I don't know. He did pretty well at fantasy football this year, I've heard. So he's getting
Nah,
some-
bro, I'm going with the whatever is behind David over there, the Ogo Pogo. Like that's underrated. That's pretty good.
So one that I almost brought up to this. It is one that apparently it's kind of Mexico, South America. It is not Bigfoot.
Is it the Chupacabra?
No, I love Chupacabra though. That's a good one, but that's more alien in my opinion than cryptid.
Well, we could talk about it, but anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
But it's called, it is not Bigfoot. It is Big Hoot, and it is literally a giant owl.
It's a big owl. Oh,
It's
Okay.
really funny.
but here's the thing. At the same time, is again, people don't realize how big birds are. Owls are huge.
Yeah, and this is even big for a bird.
Oh,
Like when
okay.
people do those jokes and they're like, "Oh, it's the superb owl" instead of the Super Bowl. No. This would be the superb owl because it's
Superb
like
owl,
bigger
yeah.
than a car.
Because again, like I
Imagine
said,
it's a small airplane, but it's an owl.
but an owl. Oh, that's crazy work.
And I was like, that is insane. No, but this last one we're going to talk about, like I said, I feel like this is the one that Nick, in your heart, you're going to love this one. If you want to take it as a Halloween costume, please do. I think you could pull it off. Now, the name of this creature
Mr. Clean.
is the squonk.
Are you squanching me right now? Is that what's
It is
going on?
called the squonk. SQUONK.
Squonk.
Where do we believe this creature hails from?
Let's go, Nick. You go ahead first.
Why are you guys doing this to me? The squonk comes from. I'm gonna go England.
Okay, good choice. Good choice. Brendan.
Africa.
Okay. Nolan.
I want to go Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
I want to go with the PNW on that one.
All right.
I
Keegan,
feel
where would you put?
So when I first heard the name, I figured it was somewhere kind of swampy, some maybe like Alabama,
Like
Louisiana.
Louisiana, Southern.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. I like that. So, there's a little debated about where it actually may have originated from, but it does seem to primarily exist and be around the area of Pennsylvania. Now, there was a man way back. He wrote a book in 1910. Now, you have to understand that this man I'm about to speak to you about, he was a legitimate person that he was a legitimate assigned official. He was actually the first state forester and commissioner of conservation for Minnesota. So he's on the up and up. He is like a legit official going out there doing these things in the forest, very hands-on nature. And he actually wrote a book during his time and of his experiences out in the wilds, out in these forest area. And the book was called, let me make sure I'm getting this correct here. That is the Snallygaster. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. So the book is called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods. Okay.
The Lumberwoods.
And it wrote about a lot of different creatures and things like that, and things that he had personally experienced and met, and told the stories of them and about their history. Remember, he's an official forester and commissioner for the state. And one of the creatures that he talks about is the squonk. And the squonk is commonly seen as one of the most sympathetic and sad cryptid stories that exists. Supposedly, the squonk is so hideous. It has misfitting skin. It has warts, moles. It looks so bad that it is very, very sad and unhappy at all times because it cannot stand how ugly it is and how much other people don't want to look at it. Because of this, the squonk is constantly sad. I think we actually do have a possible picture of it, Keegan, if you would like to pull the squonk up.
I just want you guys to be prepared. It'll make you sad. It's like those commercials you see on TV.
I swear to God, if this is a picture of me, I'm leaving.
Damn it. I was really hoping you would have pulled up a picture of Nick.
I was so prepared for it. I was like, yo, I ain't about this hazing shit.
We did this entire thing just to get to that joke.
Just to hit Nick with a squonk joke is crazy.
We're not even recording.
Right.
We're not no, you're recording, but not for YouTube. It's just for your own personal.
That would have been some Troy and Abed in the morning kind of shit right there.
Now,
who's on first? Right there.
Now, these squonks, these are pretty small. They're about the size of small dogs. Again, they are constantly crying. So much so that the way to track squonks is skilled hunters can actually track them by the trail of tears that they leave behind them. That's because it's always
Don't like
crying.
that.
The best time to actually capture one is on moonlit nights
When it's crying.
because they go slower on those nights because they are trying to avoid seeing their appearance and reflection in anything water-based or anything around them that may reflect what they look like, and they can't handle the sight of that. So much like Nick, they avoid those surfaces so that they don't become depressed all over again, you know? Now, there are a few people through mastery, through cleverness, that have managed to capture a squonk alive. They've managed to capture it, they get it, they put it in a bag. And that is when they discovered that squonks have a very unique ability. They can actually dissolve into tears. So instead of being captured, they have evaded that by hitting the ultimate, basically, self-cancellation, sadness, and they're gone.
It's like the opposite of spontaneous combustion.
And when this happens, like, they're dead. This is not just a go away and reform, because that's obviously scientifically doesn't make sense. They just dissolve. We actually have, let me see. It was really interesting. Okay, so some substances are stable in solution or some other wild form, but cannot be isolated or captured without actually catalyzing their own polymerization or decomposition. For example, a molecule containing a carboxylic acid moiety on an acid levite might be stable when initially prepared as the salt, but unstable as the free acid. Those have been named chemical squonks. So there's actual scientific terms named after what this creature can do, which has become unstable. It breaks up its atoms, and literally its death is dissolving into what is best classified as tears. These were seen most commonly, of course, back in the 1900s, around like lumberjacks and stuff, because again, the wilds of the world, there was a lot more room for things like this to hopefully help this little guy get the recognition that they deserved. Every year, we do have a very festive event that is called
a Squonk Festival.
A what?
A Squonk Festival.
We do, and it is called Squonkapalooza.
That's fantastic. I like that.
It is a cryptid festival and folklore. They do different squonks every year as the mascot. This year, it looks like Squonkapalooza is going to have like an 80s or 90s theme. And their logo is a squonk dressed in a disco suit and wearing roller skates.
Whoa, roller skates, David?
I like
Still
that.
crying. Yeah, just like somebody else we may know.
We might have found another. I think the more we go through, I think these all just might be the Monkey Man.
They just might all be the Monkey Man.
Anyways, on the Squonkapalooza site, it does say, searching out the squonk is no easy task, but if you find yourself in the forest on a moonlit night, you might just spot one. Follow a puddled path and listen carefully for the sobbing sounds of a sorrowful squonk. So, where do we rate this sad boy? Nick, we'll start with you with your new favorite cryptid. What do you think?
No, it's not real. 1.
Why is it not real?
I
What
don't
tells you
believe
that this is not possible? I
just
feel like you've
don't-
just off the cuff just been doing one, just because you haven't seen it. See, look at this. Look at that.
No, why?
I like the colors. I could have drawn a better squonk though, you know?
Oh yes, oh yeah. They purposely do it kind of crappy on a lot of them.
Fair, I guess.
I say it's not real because I don't think it's scientifically possible for a creature to be able to control its own.
Even though I
matter.
just explained to you the
State of matter.
scientific process that happens and that they've
Nope.
named this term after the squonk because it's a thing that exists in science. Are you saying those scientists are wrong?
I'm saying the scientists are not real scientists.
Because I don't know if you know this, Berg, but it's weird how our world works. That sometimes the molecules, they change even when we observe them. You know that, right?
That's not untrue. There are molecules that just us seeing them totally alters them. There's a book you should read. It's called Project Hail Mary. He's doing a lot of experimentation and while that's a fictional book, the science behind it is very sound.
It is very sound.
Like this right here, like a squonk could very well be just an ugly pig with the ability to dissolve.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
this
that
is a
far-
sticker you could buy on Etsy. So
Nick, I'm gonna buy this for you right now so that you can put this on like a water bottle, your forehead, your laptop. You know,
I also found on Etsy they have a model of a squonk you could buy.
there you go. You could always have it to look at and remind yourself that just like the squonk, you will soldier on.
Oh man.
Okay, Brendan, what do you think?
I thought we were going to be talking about Olympics.
Oh God. You know what it kind of looks like? It looks like the goblin space creatures from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, the Vogons?
The Vogons, yeah.
Yeah. Brendan, what do you think of the squonk?
Why is everything on roller skates?
Better question, why isn't everything on roller skates?
I mean, if I was a cryptid,
I didn't know
feel
they
like
were all
skates are the
trying to
way
work
go.
at Sonic over here now. Goddamn.
I want to start my own cryptid event called Squatch and Skate, and it's just Sasquatches on skates.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Brendan, 1 to 10. Where are you putting the squonk? And remember, he's sensitive.
Oh well, I don't want to upset his sensitivity.
He might be listening to this.
He might be listening to you right now. He might be in the room with you right now.
Nick might be the squanch.
That's sketchy.
The squanch or the squonk?
Squanch. It's the Sasquatch and the squonk put together. That's why you're able to speak to us.
Right? Is the squonk with us in the room right now? Yeah.
I'm calling the cops for trespassing.
So they can come do a police picture like the Monkey Man.
Put him in a little army uniform with a hard hat. I don't know, 3, 4, 0.
3 or 4? Okay. 4. We're gonna go with 4 on that. What do you think, Nolan?
You know what? Realistically, backed by science.
And by the guy who wrote that book about it, that he mentioned it in there. He was an official forester.
Right. I'm gonna honestly, dude. I think I'm gonna go with 6.5. I'm gonna give this one a 6.5.
So this is just as likely as the Hodag, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I like realistically, yes. Backed by science. You know. So I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 6.5 because, again, the world is weird. And molecules only exist when we observe them or don't observe them. It's very weird how it works. I've actually been practicing trying to phase through walls by not observing molecules, just trying to be the door, if you will. It hasn't worked yet, but we're getting there.
Whenever you start to get depressed on that, I keep this in mind. Flying is simply throwing yourself at the ground and missing. As the great Douglas Adams told us. So
you never thought about it that way. Thank you. Actually,
so if that's possible,
yeah.
Why not phase through doors? It's just atoms and atoms.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm molecules, this table's molecules, the door's molecules. It's all
theoretically,
atoms, really.
You should be able to pass. Yeah, I see.
Makes sense, right?
Yep.
It's atoms. I'm atoms. Like we're just all atoms.
Right, Nick?
Right, Nick?
I'm not an atom. I'm a Brendan.
All right, so Nolan.
Keegan, what are you feeling about the squonk?
As a pig with warts and stuff, I could see it. I mean, it looks very pig-like in most of the descriptions.
I agree.
So it's very possible they saw a pig with a skin condition. So on that point, maybe a 3 or 4. As far as dissolving into tears, I'll have to see it to believe it. But
hold on. We do have to say, with the dissolving into tears, it may not be tears. That may just be what they attribute it to. It could be something that its self-defense was just an acidic thing that dissolved its body. It doesn't necessarily 100% have to be tears. That could just be what they attribute, that was easy to say.
Right.
And there are plenty of things in nature that break down and dissolve organically.
Well, yeah. Like, did you guys know that poison dart frogs are only poisonous because of their diet?
Yep.
Yeah.
So who's to say that this doesn't have the acidity to dissolve its own skin and such due
When-
to what its
when you
diet
have
is? I mean, it's
boils and warts
Pennsylvania.
and shit like that, like you probably already do. You probably already are acidic to yourself. There are some human people that are allergic to their own sweat. So
And we all know there's plenty of people we each know that are toxic, right, Nick?
So
Yes, David, I will agree with you on that one.
There you go.
yeah, that bitch Stacy, huh?
Just talk about cryptid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
now, David, you mentioned a book. What was that book that you just mentioned that you can
Yes.
find this creature in?
It is by William T. Cox, and it is Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods. It's kind of a real life version of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them of the 1900s forested areas.
I was gonna say it sounded very similar to that. Like I
Yeah.
was like, does this sound like a real life version of Fantastic Beasts? If I'm being
It
honest,
somewhat is, but it's specifically of that kind of area. And looking at like some of the pictures that are like, they're intense. Like there's some very interesting looking cryptids and things in this. So I might actually have to find this and read it sometime because it is very interesting. But it's also been brought up in a lot of different media and other people that supposedly have seen this creature. So, and the given species taxonomy, if anybody wanted to know, is Lachrymocorpus dissolvens,
huh?
which is
Okay.
made up of the Latin tear, body, and dissolve.
And
And that refers to its ability to dissolve when captured. So it has a genus, family, species, and everything. So honestly, this is probably the most scientific cryptid we've looked at so far.
Well, I mean, isn't it like a Giganticus Potiphus or some shit like that for Sasquatch or Bigfoot?
I think
No,
it's like Primatus or something.
I think you're thinking of the Asian primate Gigantopithecus.
I mean, either way.
Now, something I would just like you guys to keep in mind, and this is 100% legitimate. This is proven. Before we found and captured them, everybody considered the platypus to be a cryptid.
That checks.
believe that.
Only venomous.
So
mammals.
I mean, honestly, a part beaver, part duck thing that lays eggs and
you
has
think they
poisonous claw, like
Do you
that
think they
sounds way more
misnomered
ridiculous
it,
than a
by
pig
the way,
that dissolves.
as a mammal.
A what?
Do you think they misnomered it as a mammal?
It's not a
No,
mammal. It's a marsupial.
No,
Yeah.
it is a mammal.
It's a marsupial.
So did they change it because it used to be a
I
mammal?
think. Let
'Cause
me
it
check.
used to be the
because-
only mammal that laid eggs, and that's why I say that.
Ooh,
It's one of two.
What is the other one?
Well,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure
I
the
think
echidna does as well.
marsupials are actually considered mammals because a koala is a marsupial and they're considered a mammal.
A koala is a marsupial, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's also a mammal. So I think that those are I think that category goes underneath of mammals.
Does it?
Let's see. Are marsupials mammals? Yes, marsupials are mammals belonging to the infraclass Marsupialia.
Because of live birth. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah. The echidna, I do believe, also does eggs.
Mhm.
But yes, so the platypus was seen, and again, it's poisonous or venomous.
It's venomous, yeah.
It's a venomous creature. It has a duck bill, a beaver body, bird feet. Like there's so much in it. Is it really
Yes.
that crazy to think that there's a pig that gets really sad?
Well, no, because back in the day, if you wouldn't have seen one, David, and I told you there's this creature in Australia,
And
that is
describe
a-
it like that, I'd be
and
like,
I
you're
told you it
smoking
was
crack.
yes, it's got the bill of a duck, the body of a beaver. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, and it's
Crocky, and then
venomous.
it bit my friend and he died.
Yeah, and it's venomous. You'd be like,
and then it lays eggs.
you would be like, that's the same thing as it's definitely a cryptid, bro. You're yanking my shit. Like,
Or you
You
know,
know-
what? Hey, if we're gonna just keep it on that track, who's gonna believe that it's a giant? It's like a dog, but it's big. It's got huge feet. It jumps around, and its babies ride inside it.
yeah,
Nobody.
there's a lot of animals like
Nobody's-
that
That's not
you
real.
wouldn't believe it
That's
until
not
you
a
see it,
thing.
and then you see it,
Exactly.
and you're like, oh shit, okay, yeah.
So going off of that, I don't think the squonk is really that far off basis, right, Nick?
Can you stop coming to me for every question?
No, good point though.
Going off that, no, going off that, fine. You know what? Whatever. By that logic, fine.
All good
Anything and everything can be real until you see it.
Hold on, that's not what we said at all.
That's exactly what you fucking said.
I just said, is this that crazy compared to animals that we do know exist? This is just a sad pig. So really, and it's Pennsylvania. That's where the saddest people in the world live. They have the eagles there.
Oof, that is true.
So I think the squonk gets a solid 7.
What the Thunderbird, is that just a large bird?
No, it actually conducts electricity. It is a Native American cryptid they supposedly saw in the deserts and plains, and it actually can conduct electricity through its body, which before Nick goes crazy and says not possible, what about eels? They conduct electricity, so why not
They
a bird?
do. Okay, so basically what you're telling me is Zapdos is real.
A form of Zapdos possibly could be real, yes. I think Zapdos is more realistic than probably Articuno. There may be a little bit of basis for something like Moltres if we're talking about phoenixes, which do have a long history of culturally being important in a thing. Maybe a little more.
Do phoenixes fall under mythical creatures and not cryptids?
I would say mythical creature for Phoenix.
Okay.
I think dragon is the closest that could be a cryptid.
I was like,
there
do dragons
is-
toe the line between cryptids and
Yeah.
mythical?
I think
Yeah, a
dragons-
lot of African cryptids are dragons. So
African ones?
yeah,
I wouldn't
Nick,
think there's
what
a
do
lot
you know
of
about that?
dragon-esque things in Africa, but yeah.
so our final cryptid, guys, comes from a book. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's called.
If you say the Bible, I'm leaving.
No. It's a book you can maybe pick up. It's called
I can't pick up a Bible.
The Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods by William T. Cox.
That sounds fascinating.
It is not the same cryptid. Me and David didn't pick the same one. But it does come from the same book. Again, experienced in the late 19th century, early 20th century by lumberjacks. It's called the Slide Rock Bolter. Nolan,
That
you
sounds
heard
like something I
name?
would ask about in Home Depot.
Nolan, just based off of Slide Rock Bolter, what's popping up in your mind?
I feel like I know this one. Because you don't forget something like Slide Rock Bolter. You know what I mean? I want to say it's like an armadillo, or something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna like an armadillo or a mole.
That a cryptid mole sounds amazing.
Like, you know what I mean? To me, that's kind of that's the vibes I'm getting. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with that.
What about you, Brendan?
I have no clue, honestly. I think a armadillo or a mole makes kind of the best sense. I'm trying to think of, things that would have more of a hard exterior, blend in with rocks and stuff, or landscaping.
What about you, Nick? What do you think?
I need you to not do the ASMR voice, okay? How about you, Nick? What do you think?
So, Nick, what do you think?
Stop.
This animal would be
Now I know why I hear.
maybe something that has some teeth.
So now I know why I've heard of it, Keegan. But yeah,
I'll go with armadillo on that one. That one sounds plausible.
But where?
Well, Nick-
Where is this armadillo from?
South America.
I'm gonna
Nick.
guess. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go before.
I'm gonna guess that it is something that is found in the Rocky Mountains, and it's like snake-like, something that slithers and can get in and out of very tight spaces.
Well, David, I will say you are close. And Nick, this is one you and I have to be the most on lookout for. because it is found in our own home state of Colorado, right
Oh,
in our
snap.
own backyard.
Nick, go
In
outside. Go
fact-
get it. Go get it.
In fact, a whole town, or at least half of it, a mining town called Rico in the San Juan Mountains, was apparently destroyed by the slide rock bolter. Now, this thing is huge because it is actually a mountain whale.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this, Nick? A
I'm
mountain.
as ready as I'll ever be.
Oh,
No.
bro,
That
that thing.
looks like rule 34, but for Earth.
Well,
No, it looks like it. Oh, I'm gonna eat. Oh, that's what
It
it
looks
sounds like. To me.
It looks like a dune sandworm.
Oh
No, it looks like a Beetlejuice sandworm.
bro, it breathes heavy. Is all I can think.
Like a pug.
Oh,
well,
oh.
I
Like,
just
that's the
want to
noise that it
say.
makes.
So I just want to say I heard about this one first in the book Weird Colorado, and it was just one of the most outrageous things I had ever heard. Was this
I mean, if an
giant?
entire town was destroyed by it, that's pretty intense.
Right.
Well, and it might have just been after a couple people. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we'll kind of go into its description. It is described as a large finless well. Now, it does have two hooks as tells because it hooks on the peaks of mountains and slides down when it sees prey. And it's because it's so large, it's able to slide up onto the next mountain and hook again.
So it
Waiting.
kind of avalanches its way around.
Yes. Now, apparently, its number one prey that it goes for tourists.
Tourists, yeah.
Let me see. I do have a picture. I think this one is from the same book that David was talking about with his creature. And here is it actually going after some tourists right here. You can see tourists been spooked off the horse because, I mean, imagine just, all right, we've all played Red Dead, I'm sure. Just imagine you're riding through the mountains. Next thing you know, giant well, and you're dead. I mean, that quick. I mean, this thing is 10 out of 10. As Coloradans, we got to be on the lookout. I know the news gives us updates, usually monthly, about where they've been seen. So just keep a lookout for
Weather
that.
eye out.
Yeah. You don't want to be eaten. Luckily, as long as you're not with tourists, you should be fine. But you can see here, this poor miner is probably going to get eaten because he was with a tourist, unfortunately.
Now, have they ever been seen outside of the state? Like, I know Nolan is right there in New Mexico. Is he in danger of these possibly?
There are some large mountain peaks in New Mexico. Maybe not that far down, but if Nolan just happened to go up to like Santa Fe, maybe, and he was just perusing around the mountains, maybe he could see one. Luckily, he is from New Mexico, so it might not target him.
Yeah.
True.
Not a tourist.
Not a tourist.
I'm definitely not a tourist.
Now, if one from Colorado crossed over there, though, would it eat all of them because it's still the Colorado mindset?
No, it would eat itself because now
he's the
it's
tourist.
become the tourist. Yeah.
Ooh, and that's where we get the infinity snake.
Yeah.
The
Ouroboros?
Ouroboros? Yeah, Ouroboros, yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly how that works. It's because, I mean, when you're waiting on your waiter, you in fact become the waiter at that point. So, yeah.
Damn, blew my mind.
Just, so now he's the tourist. He's got to eat himself. It's the way it works.
Nick, are you taking notes?
Yep,
Good.
sure am.
This is dropping some knowledge. So, Keegan, what more can you tell us about the land whale?
It's very dangerous. I was trying to pull up the rubble from where it actually attacks.
Now, if we only see this in Colorado, is it possible that this has any relation to the giant whale creature that swallowed Pinocchio and Geppetto? Colloquially known as Monstro. Do you think there's any, or even the one that had Jonah in his mouth for so long from the Bible, which we're not going to argue with the Bible, right, Nick?
But the thing is, like, the crazy bit there is the fact that that was in the water, you know?
Right, but I'm wondering, what if that was the punishment for the whale that had Jonah? Because God obviously allowed him to be freed and whatnot. What if he said, and you, whale, you don't get to be in the water anymore? And he ended up in Colorado.
Yeah.
Things that make you go,
I mean, Tower of Babel, all of them had their language taken away. They all had to speak different languages. This is a punishment kind of ironic like that.
Well, and so here's kind of a little bit about it. I'm going to read directly from it. It will often remain motionless for days at a time, watching the gulch below for tourists or any other hapless creatures that may wander. Once it spots its prey, it will lift its tail to release the hold on the crest as gravity sends it barreling downhill.
So he is constantly just hooked on, and that's all that's
gravity.
keeping him from sliding. He is like ready to go. He's got that kinetic energy just stored up, waiting for some ignorant poor soul to come underneath him.
Yeah, and apparently people have killed these. They put some dynamite in pathways, and when it gulped it up, it blew up. I mean, it is flesh and bone, so you put flesh and bone with dynamite, does not end well. So
Now, what about this town you were talking about? What happened with that
Mhm.
situation?
So Rico, that's what I was trying to pull up. Is an old mining town. You can still visit a majority of it. It's about an hour from where I live, so I feel pretty safe. We're out of the way. There are still some pretty old buildings. As far as the mining part, I believe it was more on the outskirts of town, and what's been built up is post.
Now, I don't know if you went into this with your research, Keegan, but it does seem that in parts of Colorado, specifically here in Cerro, Colorado, Cerro, it says that they have actually found what appear to be skeletal remains of a whale. Is it possible that it's the slide rook bolter?
I mean, this does feel like a 10 out of 10 cryptid right here, so
What do you think, Nick?
I think Nick's muted.
No, I'm not muted. I do know that a long time ago, Colorado used to be covered in water.
So what you're saying is because that water went away, these whales adapted to live in the mountains instead. That makes sense.
That's not what I'm saying.
I agree with you, Nick. That's a good point. Thank you.
That's not at all what I said.
I mean, that's how evolution works, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. See, Nick, he's on board. He knows.
You adapt to the environment. Yeah.
It does. It makes plenty of sense that way.
But it
Now,
took out
some-
a village. That's crazy.
Yeah, now some people will tell you it was not the whale attacking the village, but just like disrepair and like lack of upkeep. But I mean, can we believe that?
People will tell you that.
I mean, yeah, I think this is just a cover up because they don't want to lose tourist money from the people. I mean, that's one of the biggest draws for tourists is mountains.
It's mountains.
In Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine telling the skiers you go up to Aspen and you could encounter a 80-foot whale that will eat you because you're a tourist.
Like realistically, if you were going to take a trip to the mountains and they told you like, hey, you're good to go, have a good time, but just so you're aware, there are 80-foot whales that slide down the mountain occasionally and eat anything they can. Does that deter you a little bit? Does that kind of change your plans?
I don't even think they slip in that way. I think they're just like, hey, you'll love the weather, great food, 80-foot man-eating whales. Check out over here. Just so you don't really capture it. Because, again, we don't want to scare away the tourist money. So
No, you don't. But at that point, it's so long and thanks for all the fish, you know?
So stay with me here. Obviously, they have to keep these things fed, or they're going to start encroaching onto more populous areas and possibly start eating locals as well as tourists.
Mhm.
What if this was the real driving reason behind legalizing marijuana in Colorado?
No,
Bring
I mean,
more people in, and then they're high off their ass in these mountains. They're not paying attention, and they don't think this whale's real. And then suddenly,
80-foot whale. Like,
don't you agree, Nick?
but see, now the good news, a lot of these cryptids are far away. This one's in our own backyard, and I heard if someone perhaps were to find proof of a slide rock bolter, a certain college might bring you home, maybe would recognize your work in the scientific community.
Might display the bones on campus and
I
might let you
I
name it.
knew it. I knew it. You were gonna go there.
So yeah, just stay tuned. I think this will be a good like team building expedition for the 5 of us here, and 6. We'll bring Grayson. He is very well trained in the mountains. He does live up there. So I think the 6 of us will go out and try to capture this, mainly to help bring Nick home. This has been our driving force this last year and a half. So now, Brendan,
I do just want to say there is a permanent display at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science of a giant whale.
yeah, there is. I have seen
Just-
it. I have taken pictures of it.
How do we know that it is not indeed a slide rock bolter?
It's even almost displayed at a 45-degree angle, like slide rock bolters are said
Almost
to.
as if it's coming. I think this is pretty realistic. Nick, what number do you give it? We'll come back to you. We'll start. Nolan, we'll let you pick this off.
He's in your backyard. He might he might be listening to you.
Yeah, this one quite literally is in our own backyard.
Right.
It was kind of dangerous to talk about them, but
Now, Nick, you did give the squonk an 8.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
I think we all agreed that Sad Pig is very realistic.
Sad pig, yes. Squonk, no.
So now it's just semantics over what we're calling it. As the great William Shakespeare once said, a rose is a rose by any other name. A sad pig is a squonk, however you cut it.
Whatever you name it, really. Yeah. Good point.
now before we go into rating, here is one description of how we might be able to actually trick it into attacking, not us. Now, this is the account. It says one forest ranger actually tricked a slide rock bolter into attacking a dummy dressed as a tourist. So we just got to find some like sports memorabilia from a different city. We'll throw it on this dummy. The biggest thing that drew it in apparently was a Colorado guidebook and a Norfolk jacket. Common on the upper class man who would afford and seek adventure in the exotic West. So again, we just got to dress up a dummy like a tourist and then just record from a good distance away, and then we could see this attack. So based on that, Nolan, what are your rating, and how much do you think we get of this? How many minutes, hours do you think we actually record of this slide rock bolter?
I'm personally going to give it a 5. Not when. You know what?
Just remember, UNC might be listening. We can't let them down.
3.5. Give it a 3.5. Okay? 3.5. And it's only because I have spent years in Colorado, and not once have I ever seen it and or gotten attacked by it.
But how often are you in the mountains?
I was in the mountains pretty often.
But how often are you in the mountains dressed as a tourist with a guidebook?
Ooh.
And were you with locals at the time?
Checkmated me there on that one. No, I wasn't with the locals, but I also was not walking around looking like a tourist. So that's pretty probably part of it, a big part of it actually. So
Apparently,
Well,
it likes to hang out around Pikes Peak.
no, yeah, never been to Pikes Peak though. That might
That's what
also
I'm
be
seeing.
another.
I'm looking up. I looked up slide rock bolter caught on camera, and it seems Pikes Peak tends to be the popular spot of where they believe it lives this today.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Breckenridge, you know. So not Pikes Peak, but
Yeah, see, I think up there, they definitely got to protect their tourist money. I mean, that's really what drives those smaller towns up that way. So they probably dynamited all the slide rock bolters up there. I mean, just
Well, I would think
Okay.
Pikes Peak is also like a veritable buffet for something that wants tourists.
Yeah, I mean, and that's far enough out of Colorado Springs. They're probably okay with it. I mean,
Exactly. You quietly have a couple disappear, and I mean, oh, they just weren't prepared. Aspen, you have to worry about the snow and everything, and I don't feel like this is a snow-based creature very much. So,
No.
Pikes Peak makes a lot of sense to me, don't you think, Nick?
I think UNC might just revoke my degree.
Well, then you can't get a job. All right, so Nolan, you're going to the 3.5. Brendan, what do we got?
I totally believe that this is real. I lived in Montana, which has the northern part of the Rockies in it, and there was a saying going to one of the ski slopes: if you saw the whale, you were going to have bad luck and not to go up it. So I do believe that could be a real thing.
yeah.
So-
See, they did make their way up to Montana. It looks like.
So out of 10, what are you throwing it as?
8.
8. Wow. Okay. And Nick, we finally do get to come to you with your number. What do you got for us?
2.
Oh, went up. I like it. I like it.
Plausible cryptid of the day right there. That's crazy.
I'm gonna go with
Again.
a 4. Just because I am seeing a lack of evidence in terms of a lot of swatches of trees and such down, because I believe it could be up there, all that's fine. But if it released and came down, it would leave paths behind it, I feel like.
Right.
So I need to see a little bit more of that. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I have not personally gotten to see those. I haven't gotten to research it. So I feel like there would be some more physical evidence behind it, and that could exist. And you just didn't look it up and provide pictures, which is fine. But I would need to see a little bit more of that before I'm willing to totally buy in. But the fact that Brendan knows about this colloquially, as you see the whale, you're gonna have a bad time. Don't go up there. Like, that sounds like a real warning that got around in Montana. So, yeah, definitely. I think I could see an adaptation of because like Nick had the best point of all, saying that this used to be underwater here. He brought up a really good point towards the believability of this creature. So I understand that Nick really believes in it. He has given this pretty much twice as likely as any other thing we've talked about tonight. So if he believes that strongly in it, I can't discount that. He's the biggest skeptic, and he said, hey, twice as likely, that means something. So I feel comfortable going in that 4 or 5 range with this one.
Now, I do want to show you this, David. This might be proof of the slide rock bolter, okay?
Sure.
And it was even shared by the Denver Post.
Mm.
It even kind of looks like a whale tail shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think a whale came down, ate a tourist as they were driving by. Didn't even realize it.
I see it because it could come down, grabs it, and then right back up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going up to a 6.
Yeah. I mean, just seeing that picture, I think 10 out of 10. I think we will find it and be able to bring Nick home. So I'm pretty excited for that one. Now, David, I don't think this series will always be about cryptids, but I think something fun is leading into the next time we do this, just to leave these guys with a mystery, maybe if they're interested in looking something up. So I have a picture. It is cryptid related. I'm not going to say what it is, but this way, going into the next show, we do have something to kick it off.
Sure.
And this is another real police sketch. That's why I picked it.
Classic. Yes. I'm going to say it right now. For those who know what this is,
1955.
I'm going to tell you right now, I give this like an 8 out of 10. I do think, I know you don't. I think these are possible. And we will reveal what those are all about next time we do this. I want to thank all of our panelists for coming out today. Brendan, Nolan, and especially Nick. You guys have definitely elucidated the path forward, and I hope we continue to dive into some of these cryptozoological mysteries in the very near future.
So we hope you guys enjoy that, and let us know in the comments below, out of these 6 cryptids, which one do you think we have the best chance of finding out there? And if you know our surprise animal, tell us in the comments below.
Not only that, but if you want to throw some in for the next time we do this, always open to recommendations.
Mhm.
Or if you have any cryptid stories of yourself, anything you've seen, we'd love to see any evidence you got.
I agree. Love hearing about different things that I don't know anything about. It's fun. It's a good time.
Absolutely. I've talked to some people personally that have seen the skunk ape. It's wild.